Hey, it's another episode of the Godfather Minute. I'm Alex Robinson.
And I'm Andy Robinson.
And together we are the Godfather Minute. Today we are discussing Minuto numero 57.
Bene.
57.
57.
Sette. That's pretty easy. 57. Sette.
Uh-huh. 57.
57.
So you said that sounds easy. It's because the more you learn, the easier it gets.
Oh, it's like letting the air out of a balloon.
Try this one. SOCKS.
SOCKS.
You just spelled socks, and now you're speaking Spanish too. It's that easy.
Oh, there's a Spanish 2 now? I never even saw the first one. Anyway, we're talking about minute 57 of The Godfather. And minute 57, it starts off with the exterior of the Clemenza household. Mm-hmm. You see the kids playing in the driveway. Mm-hmm. And one of them has a little electric car. That I guess Tom Hagen's like, that's a great idea. Why don't you get one of those for Mikey's kids next movie?
Do you think Clemenza and Hagen collaborated on gifts?
I think Tom Hagen just saw it. Mm. I bet Tom Hagen bought it used from the Clemenza family.
Whoa.
Because figure that takes place like 10 or 15 years later.
That's right, yeah.
And so that's what I'm going to guess happens.
It's almost as if, because Michael probably directed Hagen to get him a Christmas gift. Mm-hmm. And Hagen, of course, got busy because although he has one client, he's pretty busy. Mm-hmm. And then Hagen, having only a few minutes left, he's like, oh, I need a gift. And Clemenza's family happened to be there. I was like, oh, take this little electric car. Anthony's outgrown it anyway. Something like that.
Well, they're getting kicked out of their house because remember, they lived in the Don's old house. Yeah. The Clemenzas.
Yeah, that's true. But at least the stranger's not moving in.
And then when the Clemenza had his heart attack, then...
Yeah. Whoa. Wait. Are you trying to tell me that was a heart attack? Wait a minute.
Wait, you're combining two different things.
That would have been great if Fredo says, yeah, we were all sad about that heart attack, and then Cheech says, wait, that was not a heart attack, and then Sonny says, wait, are you trying to tell me? And then Don cuts him off.
Whoa,
wait a minute.
This is getting good. Turning into an elaborate. It's like turning into like a Marx Brothers routine. Wait a minute.
So minute 57.
Minute 57. Yeah, it starts off the Clemenza house, and then we see Peter Clemenza sing goodbye to his wife. Mm-hmm. And
gets in the car, has a short conversation with Paulie.
Yeah. Well, a word about his wife.
Okay.
Mrs. Clemenza.
Oh, we're into the analysis now?
Well, I'm just going through it, as we go through.
Okay, got it.
Yeah. We always do that, don't we? We always just talk through it.
Yeah, I think you should give like an overall summary, and then we go back to the beginning.
Okay. Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, we can. I remember doing the overall summary. Yeah. Okay. So basically, in this minute, Clemenza says goodbye to his wife, and then he gets in the car with Paulie.
Wait. What about his wife? You're going to share some stuff about his wife.
Now I'm doing okay. I'll go back to the other. So then he gets in the car with Paulie, and then they drive away.
Yeah.
That's basically
okay. Well, thank you. We're looking forward to next minute.
Godfather Minute.
Keep it going. Don't forget.
Mrs. Clemenza, the actress.
Ms.
Clemenza. The actress is named Ardell Sheridan. And
she does not sound Sicilian.
She does not sound Sicilian. But you know who is Sicilian?
Ooh.
Her husband.
Her husband?
Who is her husband is Richard Castellano.
Whoa!
That's not only is it Mrs. Clemenza, but it's Mrs. Castellano, the wife of the actor there.
Oh my gosh!
So it works on multiple levels.
That's awesome.
Great! We get to see Clemenza's wife. Isn't it great that she has a little cameo? But here's something I learned, that when they were starting Godfather 2, his wife insisted that she be allowed. Castellano said, I'll take the part, but my wife has to be allowed to edit any of my dialogue.
What?
And Francis Ford Coppola's like, no, I can't do that. And that's why he's okay, I'm not doing it.
Wait, hold on. Wait. Stop the execution.
Are you trying to tell me that Clemenza?
Wait. Wait, stop the execution. We got to break this down. Break it, shake it, don't fake it. Let's break it down. Are you trying to tell me? Well, first of all, what does that mean? Editing dialogue.
That's what it said in the Godfather Wikipedia. That
What do you think that means?
That like basically she could go over the script and any of his lines, she could change them and basically rewrite them as to how.
Oh, so the actual writing, not choosing which takes.
No, the editing of the dialogue, not the movie, not directing the movie part, but like when they're filming it.
It's probably not in there, but what's your best guess as to why Clemenza insisted on that?
Well, I don't know. It's the temptation is to think that it's a kind of like a Macbeth type thing where she's like, you were the big star of that movie. You were the reason it became that whole leave the gun, take the cannoli. That was your line. You should be, you should be a bigger star. And he bought into it.
But why wouldn't he just insist that he gets to edit his dialogue? Because you said that he insists his wife gets to edit his dialogue.
Yeah,
is that a Macbeth thing too? I haven't read it since high school.
Just that she's the power hungry one,
okay.
and
wow,
not that he's not power hungry, but just that she,
that's really interesting.
She only has one other acting credit, and it's playing the wife of the Super. Which you'll recall was Richard Castellano's solo project, where he was like they were basically they were doing like an All in the Family ripoff, where Richard Castellano was the Archie Bunker one, Bruno Kirby was his like lazy son.
Oh, okay,
and
so Clemenza's wife
wife plays the Super's wife on the show.
Oh, that's funny.
So there's two different roles where his real life wife has played his fictional wife. So
wow,
she must not trust him around the set.
My gosh, yeah, on the set or in the films.
Yeah. Here's another weird thing about the Super I learned today. Rob Reiner was a producer of it.
And it was an All in the Family ripoff.
And it was an All in the Family like knockoff.
Wow.
Isn't that weird?
That is weird.
And Bruno Kirby was in Spinal Tap, directed by Rob Reiner. So that's all sorts of incestuous combinations.
Yeah, that's interesting. Well, it's odd for a lot of reasons that Clemenza would insist that his wife edit his dialogue.
You would ask, not insist. You would mention but insist.
That's the worst part about it. If there's anything we learned from these movies, don't insist. Ask nicely, but don't insist.
So isn't that peculiar?
Wait, and is that the primary reason why Clemenza was not cast for Godfather 2? Because Coppola's like, I can't give you your wife rights.
That's what it said in the Godfather Wikipedia page. It said that
it wasn't a money dispute or any other.
I mean, who knows? Maybe he created a list of demands, and that was one of the items that was on it. I always heard it was money was the big dispute, but it could be part and parcel of the same.
It would be funny. Hey, maybe that can be one of our bonus contents: is the list of demands the actors have in there, or they're just the contract line items. Like in Clemenza's, for example, you'd always have to watch the kids while you're backing out. Everyone on the set would have to.
Wait, this is the actors?
Yeah, demands? The actors. Okay. Yeah, but they're so into the characters.
Yeah. Well, like
Bobby Duvall.
Because Richard Castellano was very concerned about like children's safety. So he's like, anytime there's a movie, I want to make a point of reminding people that kids can get hurt. So you should watch the kids when you're backing out.
And that's why that line's in Godfather 1. Oh, great. We always thought it was this great, just funny, iconic
line. You know who came up with that? His wife. That's why she was the one who got to edit his dialogue.
He does say that quite a bit in The Super, doesn't he?
Every episode, he's like, make sure that you take the door off that refrigerator because kids can get trapped in there.
Hey, watch the elevator while the kids are coming out. Is it an apartment building in The Super?
I assume so.
I picture it like Good Times.
We'll have to we should look on YouTube or something, see if there's like at least clips of it. Yeah. Maybe that can be some bonus content at some point.
So is it worth bonus content? It talked about the actors / characters contracts.
We'll put it on the list.
Okay.
We'll put it on the list of potential topics. I'll write it down so we don't forget this time.
It could be fun because I know earlier in a previous minute we talked about Bobby Duvall's cause clause and how in every in every movie Bobby Duvall films he has to say the word cause or show cause and just cause.
That would be awesome if we looked in like Apocalypse Now and other Robert Duvall movies and we noticed that he does say show cause. Yeah, maybe that could be a good topic.
That could be a good one.
All right, let's finish talking about this movie though, before we start stampeding to the.
Would they be called Easter eggs? So if we looked in Apocalypse Now and found Bobby Duvall saying "cause,"
I don't know if it would count as an Easter egg.
What is an Easter egg?
I would say it's something specifically put there as by the creators to, like that you don't notice it at first. Mm-hmm. And that when you make a point of noticing, you're like, oh, that's cool. Look, if you notice in the background, you'll see this kind of thing.
The fact that this was in several movies and the common thread is a character, that's a little bit different.
Yeah, I would say it's a different thing.
Okay.
But we can explore it further in the bonus content.
All right.
And our listener, you can join us in the bonus content by going to godfatherminute.com/support. $1 a show is all we ask. And you can get sometimes up to, what is our longest bonus content so far?
Oh boy. I mean, there's maybe 45 minutes.
45 minutes.
Yeah.
Or at least 15 minutes.
At least, yeah.
The shortest is
usually about half an hour, but
I feel like they get longer as we're going on.
Yeah.
So pretty soon the bonus content is going to be like 3 times longer than the actual content of the show. So
wait. You trying to tell me that Tali's going to record 3 times as much bonus content?
And then we'll edit it all together into one giant, call it the Godfather Minute Saga. Where
my
edit all the
gosh. And it'll be just as unlistenable as The Last Dawn. Should we plug The Last Dawn?
Why not?
Yeah, so we just recorded a bonus episode.
Bonus content.
We watched The Last Dawn last night with Alex and I and our friend Ian France, one of our guest speakers. We watched The Last Dawn, and we just recorded the bonus content analyzing it. And if you want to access that bonus content, what is, Alex? Is there a whole nother tier of support you have to buy into?
Yes, we haven't utilized it much very often yet, but it's our second tier of support.
TIER. Because if you watch the actual Last Dawn, it will be TEAR.
And TIER. And it'll be TEAR if you miss out on it. So the bonus era deluxe level, you get these bonus contents, but make sure you're signed up for the Hollywood Big Shot level, which is only $1 more per month for your pledge.
It's nothing.
So it's not like it's a huge thing, but we do plan on doing these standalone bonus episodes more frequently. So I think it's only our second one we've done so far, but stay tuned. We'll do some more.
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, we thought we were going to start reviewing other mob movies on there. So stay tuned for that.
Yeah, and just a little teaser, one of our next ones may be to talk about how Alex is going to write a screenplay of all the big mob movies.
A crossover
movies.
Like the Infinity War of mafia movies.
Perfect. Yeah, that's it.
Do it.
So back to minute 57, Alex. It's getting pretty close. Just a couple minutes left. Let's give our
how many minutes left?
Well, till what?
Till we don't see Paulie no more.
Oh, I was talking about when we are introduced to Mo Green.
Oh, okay. Yeah. How many minutes left till that?
Oh, hundreds. Hundreds. Yeah. He's out in Vegas doing his thing. Well, let's give our listeners one more listen to the Cannoli Countdown.
Countdown. Guns and cannoli. Countdown. Won't be seeing Paulie no more.
Paulie betrayed me. He got a cold and then didn't show up to work. I thought Paulie was a good kid, but it turned out he was the stupid jerk.
I'm talking about a countdown to guns and cannoli. Countdown. You won't be seeing Paulie no more.
You gotta leave the gun to send a clear message, or else you might lose your life. And whatever you do, take that cannoli. Don't upset Clemenza's wife.
We're working on a countdown, guns and cannoli. You won't be seeing Paulie no more.
How many minutes left? How many minutes left? We're doing the countdown. How many minutes left? How many minutes left, consigliere? How many minutes left?
So this is minute 57. And I was looking ahead. It's cheating, Alex.
Uh-huh.
Paulie actually gets shot in 58, so next minute. But it's not until 59 when we hear the iconic line.
And we see him for the last time in
Yeah.
59. We see him slumped over the steering wheel. So
So should we stick with 59 as being the demarcation
we've come
point?
this far. We can't suddenly, unless you want to go back and edit it and all those other
I
episodes.
might.
All right,
I'm
let's
thinking about it.
Yeah. Well, then you're the cannoli countdown chef, so
Okay.
I'll leave it to you as to whether you want to make this 2 minutes or 1 minute until the.
Let's stick with 59. I think you're right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So 2 minutes left.
2 minutes left.
Two.
It should get like faster as it gets to the end.
2 minutes left. 1 minute
Yeah, speaking of cannolis, this is the setting up the cannoli scene where the conniving Mrs. Clemenza says, "Oh, don't forget the cannoli," when they're getting in the car.
Don't forget the cannoli and that line item in your new contract.
Don't forget the cannoli. Oh, and leave the gun. So because she'd be like, leave the gun.
Leave the gun. Remember the cannoli and change those lines.
Well, I'd always heard. Well,
Archie, change those lines.
Rob Reiner comes in.
So Clemenza gets into the car with Paulie, and they have a pretty funny dialogue, I think.
Well, the first thing that happens is Rocco gets in the car. It's Rocco sitting, and he sits in the back seat, and then Paulie says, "Oh, Rocco, you're blocking the rearview mirror. Slide over there."
Yeah,
And
sit on the other side.
Yeah. And I was reading in the original, in the script, it says Paulie gets nervous that he's sitting behind him, and then he flinches when he sees Rocco get behind him, which is why he wants him to sit in the other thing. And I don't get that from the actor's performance as Paulie.
Really?
To me, he doesn't seem nervous to me.
Paulie, I picked up on it.
Really?
Yeah, maybe because we've been talking up this
Yeah.
death for over a year, but definitely he's got an expression of concern on his face.
Well, I mean,
He even looks at Clemenza after he says it.
Well, it's funny because the first time that I will admit that a lot of times when I watch this movie, I never really paid attention and pieced together like who was sitting where and which. So like, let's assume I didn't know this was Paulie, I would assume that the guy in the backseat was the guy who was going to get killed.
Really?
Based on Paulie being like, hey, because he doesn't seem nervous to me. He seems just kind of like, hey, why don't you move over a little bit? Like he's almost, and then he looks at Clemenza like, right, we're in on this thing together. Like we're gonna,
okay.
That's what it seems like.
Yeah,
to me.
I can see that.
Especially considering the hammy acting when he was trying to show that he was sick.
Yeah, that's
like
true.
now he's being very like closed.
Yeah,
he should be like dabbing his head with a handkerchief and
I
sweat
think
pouring
what's
down
most
his face.
suspicious is that he's not sick.
Yeah. Considering it's like an hour later and he's
Oh, feeling better.
How long do you think it is? You think it's like the next day?
Well, what does Clemenza say? Sonny's going crazy.
Yeah, so he doesn't
wants
say
us
going
to find-
crazy. He says,
Want us to find a place on the west side.
yeah,
Yeah, but yeah, I don't know. I picked up on it.
it's got to be the next day because
Oh, the very next day.
Sonny wouldn't want him like being able to
Yeah.
catch on and sneaking away. You know,
But it is odd that Paulie is all of a sudden all better. He's not sick anymore.
oh, Sonny's running wild.
Sonny's running wild.
That's what he says. Yeah, so he's blocking the mirror, and then Clemenza says, "We're going to 309 West 43rd Street."
Woo! You think that's a place Godfather fans pilgrimage to?
Well, I went to as I was looking for it, I found a website that lists like all the filming locations in The Godfather. They mention this. It's still an apartment building. I don't know if it's the same one that was around at that time.
And Clemenza says we're going there
To get some mattresses, or is
Well,
he buying mattresses, or to?
I think he wants to first. He doesn't mention the mattresses. He says he wants to find a place where they can all hide out.
Right. And he says 309 West 43rd. And something I never pieced together either until I was just reading the script is that Clemenza is specifically doing this to distract Paulie. Because this is information that Paulie can sell to Sollozzo.
Yep.
By saying, "Oh, I know where the safe house is."
Yeah,
So
that's in the book.
I guess by Clemenza telling him this, not only does he distract him from what their current mission is, but he creates the impression that they still trust him because he's telling them where they're going to go.
Yeah.
So that puts Paulie at ease. So I think that was very clever.
Yeah, it's a good cover story. That is in the book. It'll distract Paulie because Paulie is greedy. He may be thinking how he can sell the info. Yeah, exactly.
That's
Paulie's
very clever,
greed.
though, to come up with that.
Oh, yeah.
Like, hey, make sure you mention where we're going. Do you think that was Clemenza? Did Sonny tell him to do that? Was that Clemenza's own idea, or did Clemenza's wife write his dialogue of that line?
Make sure you get the cannoli and tell him you're going to look for a place to hide in the mattresses. I should be writing this story. Watch the kids when you're backing out. Archie.
They show it from a long shot, and there's all like other kids that have been run over the years, like still like smushed into the
All
driveway.
skeletons. And tell Fish I said hello. I always liked that fish.
Fish. See, I know Bernice.
Oh, and it's also Paul. So Paulie's greed was foreshadowed earlier in the movie too, when he said, "Oh, Marron, if I could get into that wedding purse," which, by the way, is not in the book.
Oh, interesting.
The wedding
So they're
purse,
trying to-
or no, it was in the book. It definitely was in the book. Yeah,
You're the expert.
yeah.
So the book might be different than the movie.
It might be different. So great dialogue between Clemenza and Paulie. So continue. What does he say? There's a great line coming up.
He said, well, one line he says is, does he say, "Watch the kids when you're backing out and I want to get to New York"?
Well, that's the last thing he says is about the kids.
Yeah.
But he says, "Hey, do you know where we can get these mattresses?"
Oh, and he says,
Clemenza says to Paulie, like, do you know a place on the west side? And Paulie says, "Yeah, I'll think about it." That's when Clemenza gets really mad. He's like, well, I'll think about it while you're driving. I want to get to New York sometime this month.
sometime this month. It's a good,
Clemenza loves to bust Paulie's balls.
he does like to,
You think he's particularly mad at that moment because he feels responsible that Don Corleone got shot by one of his guys?
I'm sure that's on his mind.
Yeah.
Although, like, why does he live so far away from New York City? It's a weird question.
Who?
Why does Clemenza live like a month drive from New York City? It seems like he should be closer to. He seems like he should be closer to the.
Well, the way Paulie's driving, he's looking in the rearview mirror at Rocco every 2 minutes.
Driving in reverse the whole time. You don't sneak up on me if I do it this way.
That's a Fredo move. That was Clemenza's wife. If you drive backwards, he's gonna get the jump on you. Archie. Say
so
hello to Fish.
So he says, I want to get to this month. And then back watch the kids while you're backing out, which we say all the time, I guess, too. That's one of our go-to lines.
Yeah. There's a little bit more in the book in this scene. I just want to highlight.
Watch the kids when you're backing out.
Yeah, that's great. So the morning of, right before this scene begins, Clemenza is washing his blue Cadillac. Clemenza, this is something, he loved that car and sometimes sat in it for an hour in the driveway instead of sitting inside his house.
Wow.
In the book, he just loved that car so much.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Have you ever loved a car that much?
That I would sit in it for an hour?
Yeah. Have you? I don't think of either of us as being car guys.
No. But did I tell you I recently I was a passenger in a Tesla?
Oh, really?
It was fantastic.
Wow. Does it live up to the hype?
Yeah. And I'm not a car guy, but one of my colleagues had it and we were going to go to lunch right across the street. And I said, well, let's just walk. She's like, no, I got to show you something. I said, let's drive. I was like, it's right there. She's like, just come on.
Were you worried that you were getting off?
Well, I sat in the back to make sure that they couldn't get
Right behind the driver.
jump on me. Yeah. She's like, Andy, get into this Tesla but move over. I can't see you.
Hello, Andy.
So I was a passenger. It really was like a rocket ship. We took it down this road and it went from probably 5 miles per hour to 60 in, it felt like 3 seconds.
Wow.
Yeah. And no skidding out or anything like that. So anyway.
Is it cushy inside?
Oh, it's super comfortable. And what's noticeable is there's no busy dashboard. It's very simple looking. It really is a car from the future. Yeah. There's just a big touch screen kind of in the front dash.
I think it's so funny that part of the appeals of Tesla is that they're like electric and good for the environment and everything like that. But I think it's funny that you drove it to go across the street. You're like, oh, let's drive an extra mile out of our way to show it. But that does sound really cool. I would totally. If any of our listeners either they have an extra Tesla they want to get rid of and stuff, we'll elevate you to the highest Patreon level.
Yes,
if you hook us up with a Tesla,
and then we'll analyze it on the bonus content.
Yeah, we'll give it a good review.
Yeah.
So
you donate the car, we'll drive it. Good. So I'll come up with the music for that.
For the Tesla sponsored. Huh?
One other thing from the book about the scene is Clemenza only had one other person go with him, which was Rocco, because if it came down to testifying and Rocco turned on him, it would be his word against Clemenza's. If there was an additional person, it could be two against him.
Ah, smart.
So I think that was one of the mob practices to prevent people from testifying against each other.
There was a deleted scene here.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Paulie's wandering around. This whole scene is like a half an hour of them driving around the city. He even stops. Paulie parks outside a restaurant. Clemenza goes in and eats without him while they're just waiting in the car. It's good to be a capo regime.
Yeah. This is the one I was thinking of specifically because you brought up Rocco. There was a scene where it was in the Godfather trilogy where Clemenza and Rocco are getting ready to, before Paulie's there. And Clemenza gives Rocco, this is from the annotated Godfather screenplay. Clemenza gives Rocco Lampone a 22 snub-nose load for the job and tells him he will, quote, make his bones on Paulie in the car.
That's right. That's
interesting that Rocco becomes he's in Godfather 2 and everything. We see him doing the murder that has him make his bones. So it's nice to be here for this moment for Rocco.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. So,
in the book, Puzo points out that when the family, Clemenza in particular, realizes that Paulie is the traitor, they already start eyeing Rocco to be his replacement.
Oh,
and so that's one of the reasons they have Rocco make his bones in this scenario. So then he steps up.
Do you think Paulie got his bones by killing his replacement? Is it always like
that role is destined to be a traitor role?
Well, just instead of
maybe
instead of firing somebody, they're like, just kill him and get. That's like the you have to hope you get out of that job of being the chauffeur because you're like, I'm either going to get killed so some other guy can make his bones, or I'll graduate you from this job. But congratulations, Rocco, on making your bones.
Yeah, that'd be funny if Rocco, once he's in that role, after about 6 months, he's getting a little nervous. It's like he's going to Clemenza. I'm like, hey, you got any new work for me? He's showing up at 6 a.m.
I'm really ambitious, but not too ambitious.
Yeah. He's there. Clemenza wakes up and goes out to his car in the morning. Rocco's there washing it. Hey, boss, I'm cleaning your car, waxing it. I know what kind of wax you like.
I think if I was the Don, I would do a Slugworth type thing where I would have someone pretend to be from a rival family. Just to see what people's reaction is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But,
I'm surprised that doesn't come up. The old double, what do you call that? A double spy? A double agent?
Yeah. You think like Barzini would have a guy who would try to let's say the Corleones and the Barzinis make a deal where they each have one guy on their side be the one to tempt people from the other side. Like
excellent.
The Barzini guys would be like, hey, Paulie, you want to join our side? And if they did, then it'd be like, okay, Corleones, we ratted them out. And then vice versa.
So the rat, or not the rat, but the double agent really does work for that family.
So it's believable.
But they have that agreement. Oh,
yeah, so it's
nice.
Believable that that would be a thing.
Because someone like Paulie would check him out.
Yeah.
Would make sure that person really does work for Barzini.
I guess the problem though is that you'd worry that like the Barzini would say, "Hey, Corleone guy, you want to help us out?" And then be like, "Yeah," and then not tell the Corleone.
Exactly. Yeah.
So
like
maybe the
Barzini guy says, "Oh yeah, I tried to tempt him, but he didn't take it, but he really did." Maybe that really happened, and we just don't know.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, they were supposed to have told Barzini was supposed to tell Paulie. He was supposed to tell Clemenza, hey, listen, we talked to Paulie and he seemed a little too eager to jump on board. So,
I talked to Paulie.
That's a Barzini says.
Oh, can I tell this side story?
No time, but go ahead.
Oh my gosh, this was so funny. I was at a work meeting and it was a group of about 25 people, and someone was showing 3 different books that was being purchased for them. They were all going to get these 3 books. So the person held up the first book and everyone instinctively went, "Ooh!" The second book, "Ah." And then the third one, what do you think it was?
Whoa.
It kind of was like, "Ooh."
Wait, wasn't it the first one?
No, the first one was like, "Oh." Ooh.
Usually it's ooh and ah.
It was ooh, ah, but then the third is
oh.
That's it. Is
They're doing all the vowels, and then they're like, ee.
ah. But how did they all learn that? Was that on a show, or is that a cliche? Those 3 sounds?
I feel like it's like I feel like we've learned it from television, like Wheel of Fortune or like Price is Right, where they show the showcase showdown. Everyone in the audience reacts to it.
Definitely ooh, ah, oh.
The O one, I know ooh because people say ooh and ah until like you use it, the ooh and ah over the new car they got. But the third one's always the.
I don't know what that actually means. Is it surprise?
It should be like, aw. It's the third one. The rule of thirds.
Yeah.
That's the thing there. So, well, good. I'm glad your coworkers are in on the catchphrases of the day.
Yeah.
Anything else from Minute 57?
I do have a callback. I have a note that I forgot to include in an earlier minute, but I wanted to make sure I got it in there.
Okay.
So, because it recently took place. So when all the Corleone family members, minus Don Corleone, are in the study, scheming about the next steps to take.
Plotting.
In the book, Puzo wrote that Tessio's men are guarding the Godfather at the hospital. Tessio...
Are you sure? Because none of Tessio's men are there when I went. Stand them up.
Tessio assures the others that he's safe. And that they don't have to worry about him being poisoned by the hospital food because he's on feeding tubes.
Okay.
And Fish, aka Tessio, in the book says the Barney, those Turks, they believe in poison. They can't get at the Don though, not in that way. Yeah.
I would think that if you're that you could still be poisoned that way
Through feeding tubes.
Yeah. Like they could just, if anything, it's almost be like easier because then you just eject, like they do with ejected in his tube, the poison.
But they would probably have to get into his room, whereas food is prepared somewhere else.
Oh, I see. Maybe.
Yeah. If you were a dictator or head of a crime family,
yeah,
and it was very common food was getting poisoned in the attempt to assassinate someone or you, would you have an underling eat your food?
Like a food taster?
A food tester? That seems really cruel.
Well, I mean, better him than me.
Yeah.
Or her. There's no reason a lady can't be a food die from poison from tasting
Would you
my food.
tell the person that that's why you had them trying your food?
I feel like they would figure it out. Because like if we sat down and I waited, I didn't eat until they started eating and then they had swallowed it and stuff.
Yeah.
And also, do they take into account that like some poisons might be like slow acting or like cumulative?
Yeah.
Or is it like as soon as they eat it and swallow it, they're like, okay, it's good.
Yeah. Well, they're always doing a weeks ahead of time. There's a lag time.
Oh,
So the food tester tries it and then that meal's ready to eat a week later.
makes sense. Wait, so then what do they do with the food when it's waiting? Keep it in the fridge?
Yeah, they'll just put it on ice or something.
So how do they know someone doesn't poison it then? After the food taster's tasted?
Well, then they have a secondary taster right before the
oh, I
Don
see. So it was like
eats
2 stages.
Yeah.
Okay. There you go. Yeah. Yeah, that sounds like a reasonable thing. I would have someone taste the food.
Now, if you were the taster, would you subcontract that work out at a great cost? And would you tell the person that's why they were testing it? Because now you have an opportunity. This person doesn't necessarily know.
Yeah.
Because they may not even work for the mob.
This is what I would do. I would say, yes, I would subcontract it out. What I would do is I would take the food when it's handed to me as the food taster, and And I would then say to the Patsy, I'd be like, hey, you know what? I got a job working as a cook, as a chef for Don Corleone. But I want to make sure, like, can you help me out and taste the food, make sure it tastes good? I want to make sure he only has the best to go with his Sanka.
Because if it's not good, I'll be sleeping with the fishes.
Exactly.
With Luca Brazzi.
Oh, did you mean with Ava Coda? My punishment is I have to sleep with Ava Coda. I have to sleep with fish.
Oh, God. It's perfect. I got the chains.
So, you know, I realized last week, I think it was, we kept saying that messes up all my plans, and it's arrangements. We've been misquoting it. I was so embarrassed. So if you can go back and cut those out.
I'll overdub
My arrangements.
This messes up all my arrangements, Tom. Can't do it, Sally.
All right, so I guess that'll wrap up minute 57.
Can't do it, salmon. Fish.
You think that's what that's why they call him fish? Because it's like salmon. We'll never know. So until they do the Tessio standalone movie.
Oh, you think they're going to make fish into a movie?
Yeah, you know, like Star Wars, how they had a Han Solo movie, like they do a fish movie.
Would it be the origins of fish?
I don't know. We have to decide.
That sounds like a National Geographic show. The origins of fish.
I thought it was like behind the music.
Yeah.
All right then. So
that's all I have for this minute. I love this minute.
Oh yeah, we got to rate it.
I love it's a sort of a deep cut line, but I use it all the time.
Which one?
Watch the kids while you're backing out.
Yeah, I noticed you use that a lot.
That.
You use it a lot.
I love that line. It's so Clemenza. It's so Clemenza.
It's so Clemenza's wife.
Under the thumb of his wife. Like, watch the kids when you're backing out because it's in my wife's contract.
Watch the kids when you're backing out, right, honey?
She's still standing there.
So what are you gonna give it then? I assume you're gonna give it a 5?
I'm gonna give it a 5.
Whoa!
I love it. I love Clemenza and Paulie interactions.
That's true. There aren't
Think
many
about
left.
it while you're driving. I want to get to New York sometime this month. And how quickly he just turns. He gets all mad.
And the way he says month too. This month.
Yeah.
I can't go 5 all the way. I'm not as much of a fan. Not that I dislike it, but I'm gonna give it a I would even say 3 maybe.
Whoa.
Because I mean
it's Paulie scene. Hey Rocco, move over. You're blocking the rearview mirror.
That's true. That is a great scene.
There's reference to cannoli.
I know,
this
but
is the pre-Paulie death scene. Because the next one.
All right, you're talking. I'll go 4. I'll go as high as 4.
Right.
I'm not going to go 5 though.
Okay. I'm not going to insist.
Unlike Mrs. Clemenza.
How do we get so far? You on a 3, me on a 5. My youngest, my previous score, exiled in Sicily.
Was there a scene where does Al Pacino, does Michael quote that line about how we come so far? I'm wondering if, like in Godfather 3, when he's having like the meeting with the families, like maybe he echoes something about that. We'll have to keep we'll remember this 5 years from now when we're doing Godfather 3.
Yeah.
All right, so I guess that'll wrap up minute 57. We're going to stick around for the bonus content, possibly about what kind of their contracts say. And
okay, so until next time,
watch the kids while you're backing out and take the cannoli.